back with comedian Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I finally got around to watching that Tucker Carlson interview with Mike Huckabee a few days ago. Mike Huckabee being the US's ambassador to Israel. And it blows my mind what these old neocons like Ted Cruz and fucking Huckabee are thinking before they go on Tucker Carlson. I know what they're thinking. They've been able to say and do whatever they've wanted to do over the last 40, 50 years, unchallenged, no arguments. And they think, well, in the back of their mind, they think Tucker Carlson is a semi-ally. But the whole narrative and the whole position has shifted, so they jump on Tucker Carlson and are fucking exposed brutally. The Huckabee fucking Tucker Carlson was just a 2-hour and 50-minute fucking dog walk by Tucker Carlson. It was unbelievable. Tucker Carlson is really hard to fuck with. He's so fucking sharp. He's so fucking well-read. He knows history. He's a fucking force. Anyway, it was 2 hours and 50-something minutes. And if you haven't watched it, you don't need to, because I've whittled it down to the 1 minute of the only thing that matters. The most revealing thing about the whole interview. It's just 1 minute. It's at the 1 hour and 59-minute mark. And I'm going to play it for you now. And after it, you're going to understand a little bit about the dynamic between the US, Israel, and the military-industrial complex. This is the only minute you need to watch. Unless you want to watch a neocon politician pretty much destroy their career, which is also entertaining, is very entertaining. But I'll play this minute for you, and then we'll come back to it and discuss. So here it is.
Our country is not thriving, and we're spending, tens and tens and tens of billions of dollars over time defending Israel and helping it prosecute all.
Do you know where that money goes?
It goes to a lot of places.
Oh, but let's talk about that a minute. $3.8 billion a year. That money goes right back to the U.S. to purchase weapon systems. For example, every round of ammo that the IDF shoots is manufactured just outside where I live in Little Rock, Arkansas. The components, a lot of them for the Iron Dome and the Arrow 3 missile defense systems are manufactured near Camden, Arkansas.
Which needs it, by the way. Camden's economically depressed.
You know the area.
I do.
And there are thousands and thousands of American jobs, and there are billions and billions of dollars of expenditures that Israel makes in the U.S. and buys the things that we
I know how defense contracting works. I'm from Washington.
Okay.
No, I know this. I guess what I'm saying is America's not thriving at all.
So that basically explains it all. Do you need me to elaborate on anything there? So what happens is that $3.8 billion that Huckabee's talking about, that doesn't just come out of thin air. Where that comes from is the American taxpayer. And not even really the American taxpayer, because there is not enough money to fund the government. So it is just printed. It becomes part of the deficit. So money is borrowed, printed into existence. That's part of the national debt. And then it is given to Israel under the guise of defense. Israel then sends that money back into the US to buy weapons and military technology. So that money that was printed by the US government and then becomes debt for the American people to pay off eventually is sent from Israel back to America, but not to the people. yes, there are factories and yes, it creates jobs, but the money is going to Raytheon, the money is going to Lockheed Martin, the money is going to Boeing. Did you hear what he said? Every single bullet that is fired by the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, is an American bullet. Now, when you look at that dynamic, who do you think is calling the shots in Israel? The money comes from the US. It gets printed out of the common good. It gets sent to Israel. Israel sends it back to the military-industrial complex. And then the military-industrial complex sends arms and weapons back to Israel. Now, if the US didn't want this to happen, there's two avenues there they can cut Israel off. They can cut the funding off, but that would cut funding to the military-industrial complex. So that doesn't happen. And they could also stop sending the arms to Israel. But that also is not good for military-industrial complex business, is it? And it didn't just happen with Israel. Israel is just one of the components of the military-industrial complex. It happened with Afghanistan. It happened with the Iraq War. That's why when they left Afghanistan, they left all the equipment there. They didn't give a fuck. It didn't matter because it's already been paid for. The companies have already profited. Obviously, there's more complexity to it. When Huckabee said there's a return of investment, what he basically means is Israel does a lot of research and development to create more sophisticated weapons and surveillance systems, and then the US, or not the US, all of its military-industrial complex, they get the new inventions, the new artillery, the new surveillance systems. That becomes theirs. So technically, it is a return, but it's a very fucking dirty game, this. And I can assure you on this, the senators, the representatives, the politicians in Washington are far, far more beholden to the military-industrial complex than they are to AIPAC and the Israeli lobby. And that's not letting Israel off the hook either. Israel have committed genocide and there will be repercussions for that. But from where I'm standing, the Israelis have been played hard and they will be taking the fall for all of it. The Israelis are there running screen for the military-industrial complex. They're there for plausible deniability about the whole thing. But also, they were the ones who committed the genocide. Attempted genocide. They didn't complete it. They needed to complete the genocide. Israel really is under existential threat. They needed to clear out all the Palestinians and take control of the land. But I think it's like 50-50 Jews to Palestinians, and you can't hold a land historically as well. If you look at all the countries that have managed to hold their land, all the colonies, it's the ones that have committed genocide. US, Australia, Canada, New Zealand-ish. New Zealand-ish. You see, like you can hold the land if you commit genocide. England had to give India back to Indians. The Spanish had to give Mexico back. The Spanish gave back pretty much all the South Americas, all the Americas. The Africas went back to the Africans eventually. Unless you genocide the population of the land you want to take, you don't get to keep the land. It's a dirty game, this fucking business. But anyway, that's my take on things. Some people will be a little bit angry that it's not all a full-on Jewish Israeli conspiracy. It is for a little bit, but then you go a step past that and it really is just the profit motive. It's the corporations, it's finance, it's banking. That's all it is, unfortunately. Maybe a layer past that, it's aliens or something, or Moloch, or I don't know. But I can't see that far. All I can see is this. So, yep, fucking that'll do for tonight. And I'll see you the fuck later.